fabled heat, where magic meets desire. Subscribe to ignite the fantasy.
The server room thrummed, a constant low vibration that resonated in my teeth. It wasn't unpleasant. In fact, the controlled energy, the scent of ozone and cool metal was a familiar comfort. Anya Petrova traced the lines of code scrolling across the monitor with a slow, deliberate finger. The glass was cool beneath my touch, a stark contrast to the heat that had been building within me all day, a simmering awareness that felt different. It was a solitude I'd cultivated, a shield against a world that hadn't understood the power that surged within me, the strange currents that ran just beneath my skin. A power I'd learned to control, to channel, to hide asterisk, until Kaelen and Rafe. Kaelen, even thinking his name, brought a strange stillness to my core. He stood to my left, observing the data streams with an unnerving focus. His eyes, the color of a glacial lake, held a depth that felt ancient, a control that felt like a silken restraint, a promise of exquisite discipline. He didn't need to touch me to exert influence. His mere presence was enough to make my breath catch. He was order, precision, a fortress built against chaos. And I inexplicably wanted to be asterisk inside that fortress. Rafe was everything Kaelen was. He leaned against the far wall, arms crossed, a lazy smile playing on his lips. A wildfire, all reckless energy and shadowed smiles, making my pulse hammer a frantic rhythm against my ribs. He radiated heat, a raw, untamed power that both terrified and exhilarated me. He watched me with an intensity that felt like a physical touch, a slow, deliberate stripping away of my defenses. He was chaos, temptation, a dangerous invitation I knew I shouldn't accept, yet desperately craved. Their presence was a disruption, a slow, deliberate unraveling of the carefully constructed walls around my heart. I'd spent years building those walls, reinforcing them with logic and control. Now they felt fragile, like sandcastles against a rising tide. A tremor ran through the floor, a subtle vibration that resonated deep within my bones, stirring a nascent heat low in my belly, a tightening between my legs. It wasn't the usual hum of the servers. This was different. The servers stuttered, their rhythmic hum fracturing into discordant notes. Error messages flashed across the screens, a cascade of red warnings. I paused, my breath catching, a prickle of awareness raising the hairs on my arms. My fingers flew across the keyboard, attempting to isolate the source of the disruption, but the code was resisting me. It felt like trying to grasp smoke. Then a suffocating darkness descended, pressing against my skin, stealing the air from my lungs. It wasn't a physical darkness, not exactly. It was a weight, a pressure, a sense of being watched. Emergency lights flickered to life, casting long, distorted shadows that danced across their sculpted bodies. Kaelen's hand clasped mine, his grip firm and grounding, a jolt of cool energy traveling up my arm, a possessive claim that sent shivers down my spine. His touch was a lifeline, anchoring me to reality. Rafe's body brushed against mine, a searing heat that ignited a slow burn against my thigh, a blatant invitation that stole the air from my lungs. He didn't apologize for the contact, didn't even acknowledge it, but his eyes burned with a possessive hunger that made my knees weak, a silent promise of claiming me as his, of consuming me entirely. I could feel the heat radiating from him, a primal energy that resonated with the strange power within me. "What's happening?" I breathed, my voice a shaky whisper, laced with a tremor I couldn't quite control. My heart hammered against my ribs, a frantic drumbeat against the encroaching darkness. I tried to focus on the monitors, on the code, but my vision blurred, my thoughts scattered. "She's here," Kaelen said, his voice tight with suppressed urgency, his gaze already assessing, calculating. He scanned the room, his eyes narrowed, searching for a threat I couldn't see. He released my hand, but the lingering warmth of his touch remained, a phantom sensation on my skin. The veil is thinning, she's forcing her way through. Rafe's eyes locked with mine, and I felt a jolt of something raw and untamed. He took a step closer, closing the distance between us, his body radiating heat. "And she wants everything we are," he murmured, his voice a low, dangerous rumble that vibrated through me. He reached out, his fingers tracing the line of my jaw, his touch sending sparks of electricity through my veins. "She wants your power, Anya. She wants to asterisk break you." I swallowed hard, my throat suddenly dry. Who is she? Kaelen's voice was clipped, precise. "Lysandra, an ancient entity, a being of pure chaos. She feeds on power, on control. And you, Anya, possess a considerable amount of both." Rafe's thumb brushed across my lips, a slow, deliberate caress. "She's been watching you for a long time, waiting for an opportunity, and now she's found one." He leaned closer, his breath warm against my ear. She'll try to corrupt you, to turn your power against us. Don't let her. Fear coiled in my stomach, cold and constricting. I was a shield, a protector of the network, a guardian of the code. But against something like this, I felt utterly unprepared. What can we do? Kaelen's gaze met mine, his eyes filled with a steely determination. We fight, we protect you, we bind her before she can fully manifest. He turned to Rafe, a silent communication passing between them. We need to reinforce the barriers, channel your energy, Anya, you're the key. Rafe's hand slid down my neck, his fingers tangling in my hair. He tilted my head back, his lips hovering just above mine. You're stronger than you think, little star, he whispered, his voice laced with a possessive tenderness that sent a shiver down my spine. We'll protect you, but you need to trust us. You need to let us in asterisk. The darkness pressed closer, the weight on my chest intensifying. I could feel Lysandra's presence, a cold, insidious tendril reaching for my mind. I closed my eyes, bracing myself for the onslaught. But then I felt Kaelen's hand on my back, a grounding force, and Rafe's lips on mine, a searing kiss that ignited a fire within me. Their power flowed into me, bolstering my own, creating a shield against the encroaching darkness. And in that moment, surrounded by their strength, I knew I wasn't alone. I wasn't defenseless. I was Anya Petrova, and I would fight. I would protect what was mine. And I would let them claim me, body and soul, if that's what it took to win.